What if a protest for justice becomes the spark for violence, distrust, even authoritarian backlash? When corruption rallies escalate, society doesn't just lose peace, it can lose its foundation. And America? You'll feel it too. What's happening? In many places, protesting corruption, Asia, Latin America, etc., what begins as peaceful crowds demanding transparency can escalate. Some groups turn to vandalism, clashes with police, arrests, even deaths. For example, in Manila, protesters frustrated over alleged corruption in flood control projects threw rocks and burned barricades. Security forces responded with arrests, roadblocks, and a lockdown around sensitive areas. Officials warn protests might not stay peaceful. In Nepal and Indonesia, likewise, protests have escalated into violent confrontations when demands are ignored or when authorities respond harshly. Why violent escalation matters. Loss of trust. Peaceful protesters see violent escalation or heavy-handed policing as betrayal of their cause. Society becomes more polarized. Governmental crackdown and erosion of civil liberties. To restore order, or what they claim is order, governments can enact curfews, restrict free speech, intensify surveillance, or use legal or illegal force. Disruption of everyday life. Business shutdowns, transport disruptions, property damage. People avoid protest zones. Supply chains may get impacted. Chaos adds cost. International fallout. Investors dislike instability. Foreign companies will see risk rising, possibly pull back. U.S. foreign aid or cooperation may be tied to how governments treat protesters and civil rights. Dangerous precedents. If violent escalation is normalized or expected, future protests may begin with fear of repression. People may self-censor. Activism becomes risky. What could happen next? Governments or protest leaders pushing for non-violent discipline, clear rules, peaceful channels, dialogue, independent monitoring from media, NGOs, international bodies, to call out abuses, document violence, push for accountability, legal protections for protest rights, and limits on police/military responses. Transparent investigations when violence or human rights abuses occur. For outsiders, including U.S. firms or the U.S. government, consider how unstable political climate might affect contracts. Include protections. Support civil society that strengthens institutional trust. So, watch for how protests are handled. Is the state choosing repression or reform? Are civil liberties protected or trampled? Because how corruption rallies end up will deeply influence how societies heal or fracture. If you believe understanding unrest is part of prepping, hit like, subscribe, and ring that bell. Tell me in the comments, have you ever seen a protest turn violent? And did your view of the issue change because of it? Stay alert. Stay resilient.